What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Zozum. It is me, once again, the only person who runs this YouTube channel, and today we are playing the Stanley Parable, or the Stanley Parable, or the Stanley Parabola. Yeah, this game. Okay, so I've owned this game for a while, and it has been out for quite a while, but like, I just didn't do it because my computer sucks and wouldn't run it. But now it's happening. So yeah, let's dive right in. So this is, I'll just let the intro play. Waiting for the thing to load. That's the only problem is on my computers, this thing takes forever to load. Forever. Not why is this taking so long to... Oh, look, it actually jumped somewhere. I'm just gonna give you pleasant music.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in
Why is it doing that?
427, and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day
Why is it doing that?
Of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-reading, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Okay, good for you, the real libertarian.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
I wish that would stop.
Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Yep, this is the Stanley Parable. Let's do it! You can't open any other doors.
All of his co-workers were gone.
That motion blur. 1 second. Hold up. No. Video.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What the frick? This game is really weird. Like, it's just acting weird. I've played this through so many times, I know what happens on all the endings. So this is just going to be like the main ending for you.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Yep, and I shall follow these directions, because everyone usually doesn't follow the directions and gets a different ending, and they want to know what actually happens, and then we'll do that in the second video. Instead of that...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Yep, okay, so... But usually people do the wrong ending, and then they do the actual ending in the second video. But instead, I'm going to do the exact opposite of that. I'm going to do the main ending and then do all the other endings that I know of. One of which deals with this broom closet, which you can open, and you can stand in a broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Yep. That'll be coming soon enough.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Probably should have waited for directions, but okay. If you look here, the floor is actually, like, in the same area as the top of the door. So, there's, if you open the door down there, using hacks, or whatever crap you want to use, the door will pop out up here. There's also the, bathroom. Yep. Sometimes this will be open for you, but not all the time. Yes, that is an actual place back there. So yeah.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Oh no, there's no one here.
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Narrator.
so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code.
I can stand even thing.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Yes! I did. There's nothing over here. It's just a dark corner. Hello, Mr. Fan. And guess what? There's another loading time. Yeah, it is loading. Yes, it's loading, of course it's loading. Why wouldn't it be loading?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
For long. Laggy bit.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Pushy the button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Much
What
screen, very
horrible
television.
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh, of course he didn't. I just love making stupid remarks. Just right in the middle of this.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true
where's
nature
4257?
revealed. Each bore
4257.
the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Much TV, very television. Wait. Okay, and I'm still walking forwards. I got lost for a second. My friends won't stop texting. Shut
This
up!
mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It
Trying to
couldn't
make
be
a video
true.
here. For
Had
once.
Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Yes, he
Was
has.
this the only reason he was happy with
Another
his
thing about this
boring
game
job?
is the poll.
That
If you
his
watch,
emotions had
if
been
you saw right there.
manipulated to accept it
Dang, if you
blindly?
stop doing that. But like the pole that this thing rides on is actually not like an actual pole. If you watch, like you can see the pole come down to where, like.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yes, he had. Come on.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Ooh. Also, none of the buttons in this room do anything. You can try everything, but none of them work. You can't do anything, okay? Just so you know. If you guys want to get this game. I mean, I recommend it. It's a good game. There's multiple endings. It's very funny on some of the endings. I'm just going with the serious ending because, you know, I want to get it out of the way so I can get to the funny stuff. Boop. Darkness. And a loading time. There was. Excuse me as a burp. That's some very nice blackness you got there. I totally can't see any light.
And a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Yes. Bong!
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
Hey, birdie.
And yet,
Another bird.
even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles.
The only problem that I just like how this is how do I get here?
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
Let me out.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
There's a barn over there. There's also a parking lot. Oh, cool.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yep, okay, that's it. Much boring. Very views. The end is never, the end is never, the end is never, the end is loading, yet never. The end is never, the end is never, the end is loading, never. Yep. Okay, guys, so that has been the Stanley Parable. Yep. Not really. This is only part 1. There will be more. Much, much more. If I was to rate this game on my top games, it would probably be like number 2 or 3 now. Before it was number 1, but now it's like 2 or 3 because you know, it gets kind of boring after a while, just playing the same thing over and over again. There's no multiplayer. There's no multiplayer. Who I would need multiplayer on a single-player game like this, though. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. It really encourages me to keep doing this stuff. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, become one of the Derpy Zosies Army.